So hello classmates, so we are the last reporter from the subject Benlak. So this is the continuation to Miss Nicole's discussion yesterday. So we are talking about communication and language. So there are two main types of communication. The first one is the verbal communication. So this type of communication uses language spoken or written. So when we say spoken, it involves sound. When we say written, so I can share you a perfect example for that is ato mga kaninuan sa una during those mga colonial times nga giswat-suwat nila ang ilang language, ilang traditions through sa caves, nagbilin sila mga artifacts for us to be aware of ila pong na-share sa ato from this generation now. So that is an example of language or allows people to store experiences, pass their knowledge, and of course imagine the future and create culture. So we can create culture by having this language and communication. So now let's move on to the second type of communication, which is the non-verbal communication or the para language. So in this type of communication, it only uses the gestures, the hand movements, the facial expressions, and of course the posture and the eye contact. I believe using these types of gestures or the eye contact, maintaining eye contact is an effective way to communicate well, and of course for your listeners to understand you well, of course. And of course, but do not be so exaggerated. So there are also limitation. And of course, have you all know that up to 70% of communication during face-to-face interaction is non-verbal? Of course, because even though we know that we speak all the time, but of course we move all the time, we maintain eye contacts all the time, we do gestures and facial expression all the time. So that is an effective of communication. Now let's move on to the cultural styles of communication. So there are examples of different cultures communicate differently, so I will explain them one by one. So first one is the Bahrain man. So the Bahrain man, or people from Bahrain, not all but many, tend to use a lot of hand movements when talking and maintain eye contacts to show sincerity and interest. So the second one is the Polish teens. So the teenagers from Poland avoid eye contact because they feel shy, but most of the time maintaining eye contact for them is rude. So when you're communicating to them, they look away. So the third one is the Eskimo women. So they prepare to have a wider personal space because they value their personal space. So the last one is the Kashmiri woman. So unlike Eskimo women, Kashmiri women prepare to talk closely because to show warmth, trust, and friendliness. At this point, we are talking about the language studies that have 4 branches. So the first one is phonology, or the study of speech sounds or phonemes. So I believe my classmates know this topic well because we are talking this again and again by our different subjects such as the elementary teaching English in the elementary grades and the language arts. So in phonology is all about the sounds, such as example is the sounds of the letters on the alphabets. So that is the perfect example. So the second one is semantics. So the study of meaning of words and the combination. So for example, the word that has the same spelling but different meaning. So for example is bank. For as we know that bank is the place where we keep our money, but another meaning for bank is river bank, so or the side of the river. So that is an example of semantics. So the third one is the grammar or the structure of language. So this is the most crucial part in creating or formulating a stanza or even creating a simple words to avoid grammatically incorrect words in a sentence or in a sentence in a paragraph. So first we have the morphology or word parts, roots, prefixes, and suffixes. So let me give you an example. The word undestructible, where an is you add an in the root word undestruct. So that is the prefix, and the suffix is the able, so undestructible. So the second one is syntax, so sentence structure and rules. So we must be ordered in creating a words, in formulating a words to a sentence in order for us to avoid creating an grammatically incorrect form of sentence. So that's how we should create a grammar or structure of language to to create a grammatically incorrect sentences to form in a paragraph. So the last and the fourth one of language studies is the pragmatic. So roles of language used depending on context and social interaction. So let me give you a sentence or an example sentence. So when you're going to ask a salt for a friend, so for example you say, give me the salt. So that is the wrong way of asking the salt. So you must say, can you please hand me the salt? So that is the correct example. So another example is the I'm okay, I'm fine. So of course in your tone when you say I'm fine, so it actually tells you that you're not fine, because it depends also on your tone or in depending on the context that you've shown. So that is an example of pragmatics. So the last slide that I'm going to tackle about is the language and culture, and of course language and culture that connects with each other. So language is essential to culture and vice versa. So also the culture is essential to language because these two are inseparable. So culture shapes language and language preserves culture. It's simply because the culture shapes language because it is our identity. The language is our identity and it's simply our culture. So language also preserve culture by communicating and passing through language to the other generation of our cultures from the past ancestors. So linguistic reliability or the hypothesis. So our language influences how we see and interpret the world. So the language is very important and crucial part of us being a human in a society.